stop. Here's Ross, the host with today's dose of common sense.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Hey, we're going to talk about Luigi Mangione again, and it's only because I can't wait for the conspiracy theories to start about this one. Okay, so we're going to go to the screen share, and I'm going to show you some stuff. You might get a little insight into how I look into things too, but it's based on the number of tabs that I'll have open on the screen. But we're going to go back to the screen share, and let's go back to the first one. And we find out that, let's see if you can see the headline. Yes. Okay. The United Healthcare CEO hires top Manhattan lawyer as extradition looms. I have no idea how to pronounce her last name. Karen Friedman Anifilo. I have no idea. I'm sorry, Karen, if I'm butchering your name. I'm sure I am. But let's see. She, according to a statement the Associated Press obtained from her law firm, Agnifilo and Trader LLP. So, really, what we're talking about is she's going to be Luigi's attorney. When you go see her, it was just 2 days ago. She said that she was happy to share that she was starting a new position as of counsel at Anifilo and Trader LLP. Now, in legal terms, what that means is that she's not a partner in this firm, but she does work for them. And that just 2 days ago. So it seems like Luigi there decided to contact this law firm and retain them for his case. And they decided, hey, Karen is probably going to be the best person for this. So let's bring her over here because she's affiliated with another law firm that she is a partner at, and that's the Anifilo Law Group PC. And before that, she was with Garagos and Garagos, which is a name I know how to pronounce because for some reason there used to be an attorney named Garagos that was famous or something. Anyway, she's a graduate of Georgetown University Law with a Juris Doctor, which is what all lawyers have, and UCLA. She has a bachelor's in political science and government. She's a graduate. Oh, look, she's about my age, actually. She might be a year or two older than me. But either way, it looks like she and whomever else were doing the law thing. The Anifilo or Agnifilo or however it's pronounced in Trader LLP is her husband's law firm. He's a partner with the Intrator guy. And one of the Garagos people, a woman, is also an attorney there at this other law firm, the one that she just joined as of counsel. But if you're looking at this, let me double check and make sure you can see it. Yes, you can. That's Mark there. That's her husband. So they are working together on this one, but that's the Anifilo and Trader people. That's the firm right there. It's those two partners, and they have Tenny Garagos as a partner. And now Karen has come on. So it looks like good old Luigi retained them as his counsel, and they decided that, hey, this is right up Karen's alley, so let's bring her on as of counsel, and so she can work on this case. And that's where that is. But if you start looking around a little bit deeper, well, Karen used to write some stuff. She has written some stuff. Her and this other guy, Jerry Goldfeder, wrote some articles about the Trump trials in New York for the New York law journal. There was 3 of them in that series, and so she's pretty familiar with being high profile and talking about high profile cases. I don't know if she's had any other high profile cases that we would have heard of. I haven't looked them up yet, so this is just preliminary. But I thought it was funny because of this. No, not this page. Let me find it. Um, oh. No, it's not there. I'm going to have to look again. But her husband is Diddy's lawyer. So Luigi has hired Karen, and Mark, her husband, is the lawyer who's representing Diddy in his legal woes. So that's an interesting thing that's going to lead to quite a lot of conspiracy theories, I'm sure, about it all being connected and so on and so forth, and, Diddy parties and everything else. And they're going to probably try to connect Luigi to Diddy in some way. And it's going to be interesting to watch. So I thought I would throw that out there and let everybody um, uh, hear it here first. They're probably not going to hear it here first, but give you a heads up on what's happening. So some of the conspiracy people are going to start trying to link Luigi Mangione with Sean Diddy Combs and his cases that are going on right now, just because the lawyers are married, and so that's going to be fun to watch. So I just thought I would throw that out there for everybody, and I really wanted to thank everybody because it looks like um, the podcast got a lot of attention in the last week or so. I think it was all because of the Luigi stuff. But the people who've been out there sharing it and telling people, hey, check out this podcast, I really appreciate that. There's been mostly on Apple Podcasts for some reason. The people of Apple seem to like me, or they liked the Luigi stuff anyway. So maybe they'll come back and watch this one. And I really appreciate everybody, just spreading the word and stuff. So thank you very much. And I'll keep putting some stuff out there for you, because my other podcast about recovering from a heart attack and studying martial arts, is not nearly as popular as this one is. So I don't know. I had no intention of really, I should have done this one first, but I had a heart attack, and that was kind of a big deal. But I really thought about doing a podcast about conspiracy theories and this sort of stuff a long time ago, and I just never did it. I didn't think I would do it. I didn't think it would be fun, and I didn't think I would be good at it. But it is fun, and I'm enjoying it. So it doesn't matter if I'm good at it or not. I'm going to put it out there anyway. But thanks for participating, and thanks for coming by and listening. So, one of the other things that's going on right now, the drone thing, which we talked about, that's a big deal. That's going to keep going on. It's going to keep being crazy. Um, so I don't know how long that's going to go on. It's probably going to fade out and peter out eventually. But the Syria thing is going on, and so that's also a big deal. So there's going to be a lot of conspiracy theories talking about that. There's always been a lot of conspiracy theories about Syria, because it seemed like we were supporting people who were our enemies in other contexts, and that was true. So, you can talk about conspiracy theories all you want to, but yes, that was kind of how it went. We had people who were essentially our enemies, and they decided to go fight some of our other enemies. And we sort of went, hey, you know what? Hey, here's some guns and stuff. You know, go on with your bad self, and go kill some of those guys for a while. And a lot of this stuff is things that conspiracy theorists are well aware of. They've seen it happening all the time down throughout history, where we support someone and it comes back and bites us in the ass eventually. And that's always what happens. We jump on a cause, and we think we're supporting the right side in this cause, and that doesn't always, it doesn't often, I should say, turn out to be correct. And that's the way it goes. And that's the way it goes for everyone. It's not just the United States, by the way. A lot of people want to say that it's us. It happens to everybody. It happens to every nation that supports someone else outside of their borders. Eventually, one of those groups or one of those smaller nations will turn on them, and that's just the way it happens. That's human nature. Humans suck, and nation states suck, and all of that. Terrorists suck. But there's direct connections between the Syria stuff, the Ukraine stuff, and Al Qaeda stuff, and Afghanistan stuff, and Iraq stuff, and attacks on the homeland stuff, and embassy stuff, and that's all stuff that I'm looking into right now because I listened to a podcast the other day, and it was very interesting. The guest and what they were talking about. It was a former CIA analyst, and they seem to really be on top of a lot of that stuff. So I'm probably going to look into it and see what I think. But our participation in Syria, it appears to have worked. The Assad regime has fallen, as far as I can tell. I mean, I don't know how permanent that will be, but it's fallen. The rebels are now in charge. That's generally not very good either because what happens a lot of the times, and I'm sorry, I have to keep licking my lips because I have a really dry lip that likes to split open in the wintertime. That's a different story. Could do a whole podcast on that too. But um, a lot of the times when rebels take over someplace, they're not very good at running things. And so it all starts to fall apart again. And what you start to see is that the dictatorship was actually pretty good at running things because they had been in charge for so long. They knew how things operated. So the people who worked for the regime were pretty good at running things. Whether they were evil people or not, that's for other people to decide, but they were able to run things because they understood how things worked. And a lot of times the rebels, you have this popular uprising and they overthrow the government, but they don't know how to run the government. They don't know how to run the normal services that the government takes care of every day. And so everything starts to fall apart. And sometimes it falls into just absolute chaos. And then entire nations sometimes dissolve or break apart into two or three different countries, things like that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here because I suspect that the Syrian rebels, different groups of them, they have backing from Western nations. So are those Western nations going to step in and give them a hand and teach them how to do these things, or have they already done that? Or are they going to be offering assistance from like a diplomatic point of view, like saying, "Oh, this is the new government of Syria, so now we're going to form relations with them. So we'll send our envoys over there, and the envoys will be the people who are going to teach them how to actually run a country." I don't know. There's a lot that's left to be discovered and figured out and seen. So it's going to be interesting. But I would keep my eye on the news because there were other plots that were taking place around the world that had nothing to do with Syria, but it was some of the same groups that were involved in Syria. So hopefully, the analyst that I'm going to start listening to here and trying to figure out what she's all about, hopefully she's wrong, but she wasn't wrong about some other stuff. So we'll see. But I'll probably share it when I feel comfortable after I've done some research. But this number of tabs I have open, this is the thing. Um, if you look at this, it's everywhere. But I already closed some of them. You were there when I closed them. You were watching. But this is not abnormal for me to have, 7, 8, 10 different tabs open at one time. And that's kind of how I align my thoughts. Generally, they go left to right, and it'll be one leading to another, to another, to another. And that way I can keep track of it in my head. And but I'll have quite a few tabs open at different times, and this is a small number for now, but that's just some insight into what I do when I get interested in something. I'll have a dozen or so tabs open, and they're all linked together. But we're going to go over that one of these days. I'm going to just walk you through. I'm going to pick something, and we'll just start researching it live on a video, and maybe even on a live stream. And I'll show people how my brain works, which is probably kind of weird and not normal, but that's how I look into things and come to conclusions that I do. But the Luigi thing and the Puff Daddy thing, whatever it goes by now, Diddy, whatever. That's going to be an interesting one because people are going to make up some very interesting conspiracy theories about that, all because of the lawyer who was hired. And I'm looking forward to seeing it because it's going to be crazy. And the crazier, the better when it comes to conspiracy theories because that makes them more fun. The ones that are kind of plausible, that's no fun. The ones that are absolutely absurd, those are the fun ones to look into. So keep your eye out, and I'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Really? Just Stop with your host, Ross. Make sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss a dose of some common sense.